OpTiC, North American team trying to join Liquid in the playoffs here in the Big Apple. It's been ESL One New York. We're into our second day, our first broadcasting live from this spectacular venue, and it's Virtus.Pro that chooses to go up against them. It's our final game of the night, and this one should be nothing short of spectacular. Both teams are on their last life and also just one step away from joining the rest in the playoffs. We started with 8 teams. We have 3 now in the playoffs, and we've waved goodbye to 3 to most people's standards, world-class teams. We got to see G2, Astralis, both fall by the wayside in what was essentially the blink of an eye. Alongside them, just recently, we just lost Fnatic as well. That was, of course, courtesy of Team Liquid. They're going to be riding into the playoffs now. So, Yanko joining me alongside Duncan. It's great to have you two here to just try and once again digest what we have to look forward to in our final game of the night. How fresh are you feeling, Duncan? You still bouncing with energy?
After a long day, I feel like Virtus.Pro might get the fire going, you know.
Get the blood pumping.
Bring out that baseball bats that some NA players, like they usually do. They have to enjoy playing NA players.
Yeah? Is it the
get that frustration out, you know?
The clash of styles, do you reckon, Yanko, VP, just walking a walk through OpTiC, or have we got a real game on our hands?
It's not just the clash of styles, it's the fact that historically VP has always been doing great against NA teams. Even, you know, when Cloud9 was having that great run in the summer of last year, VP was always having a good score against them. So what's going to be interesting for me once we get to the map vetoes, actually, these teams have similar vetoes. So we're again going to have that game of chicken of sorts to see who goes for the standard vetoes, but who risks with vetoing some of their opponents' stronger maps.
OpTiC have had no absence of challenges, though. I mean, you look at the games they've played. We've seen them play SK, Fnatic, G2, Astralis, and now Virtus.Pro. They're going to be going ahead and trying to hold their head high alongside what actually is some pretty stats worth boasting about. Look at the numbers there. 2 at the top, Naf and Tarek, of course, newest addition into that roster, and he does seem to be finding his footing relatively quickly. For Virtus.Pro, it's an all too familiar tale as of late. Neo, old guard, and he is firing hard. 81 for him. He's been kicking it off. And on Taz, on quite the opposite end of the spectrum, just 50 ADR for him. I'm a poet, and I didn't know it. I want to talk about these
Viagra game 1 point.
Absolutely. Little blue pill. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit, though, about what I was trying to hint. Oh, God, I've lost it. The point I was trying to make, which was Tarek's arrival in OpTiC. Just because we've just seen Liquid, and we've seen that lovely storyline regarding JDM. You know, he was struggling so long to break through, trying to find that team that he felt comfortable. He did look a little kind of uncomfortable in CLG for oh so long. And he's picking it up. He was in the grand final stage in Cologne. He's now locked himself into the playoffs. This has been a lovely climate for him to kind of develop as a player. Do you not think we could find a parallel story here with Tarek, finding a roster that he can genuinely kind of thrive within? Because it's been oh so long where we were talking about Tarek and expecting to see the big things from him.
Well, especially because, like I say, I mean, it actually puts pressure on him when you know that story, that he basically also kind of decided some of the moves recently. Yes. But it's been working out. I mean, they got into the offline stage of E-League, which obviously a pretty big result. Then here, they're in a scenario where, I mean, they've already got 2 pretty good scalps from Europe. So if they can take VP, I mean, I don't even care if they do nothing else in the tournament. That would be fantastic. 3 best-of-1s to take over against all these European teams. And again, just like with those other matches, it's almost certainly going to be playing VP on a map that they like. So it's a pretty tall order. But again, if you're going to do that, if you're going to become an actually legit international team, you have to be able to take these upsets. It can't be just like having a close game, or maybe we could have took a different map.
Well, I mean, what a story that would be as well, coming from the qualifier, not an invitee. You battled through a previous, a set of games just to secure yourselves a spot, knocking Cloud9 on their backside, getting into this event from some hard-earned games in your region. Now you find yourself just 1 win away from being in the playoffs. And you do talk about maps. I'd love to just kind of jump straight into them, Duncan. Sure. Where do OpTic's strengths lie? I mean, let me quickly outline the maps they won. They beat G2 on Cash, and they beat Astralis on Overpass. Either of them going to pop up?
The funny thing is, Overpass is not something you really think of as a map of theirs. Cash, it's okay. Funny thing is that they've actually played Train twice here, lost twice. It's one of their better maps. Funnily enough, Virtus.Pro's played Train twice, also lost twice. I actually still think, despite that, Train's a map we might end up on. I know both teams are comfortable, both teams don't mind playing it. The real question for me is, what's going to happen? Like, who's going to ban Overpass? That's my question. Because actually, VP's been doing it sometimes, depending on the opponent here. So we know VP has the deep map pool. We know they like Mirage. They obviously will play Cobble, certainly. That's something, does this version of OpTiC want to play Cobble still? Okay, they go straight away with the ban on Train, because they're just saying, let's get that out right now. We don't want it. Both teams don't like Dust 2 historically, so if you're OpTiC, again, this is actually where if you're OpTiC, you want to make VP use their ban on us too, because they've got the deeper map pool, so just float it there. Nuke, who's really going to do that? That's another map that both one would usually ban. Yeah. So Overpass banned from VP, like I said, even though classically, I mean, we think of them a fantastic Overpass team, certainly very good. I think a mixture of they're already banning it against some opponents and they saw what happened to Astralis, so just say, let's just get that out there. We've got better maps elsewhere.
It's happened again, though. Ever since those 2 early losses, and let's not forget the first 2 losses OpTiC did concede were on train. Ever since then, it's been their first ban, just straight up. They're just scared of touching it again. Overpass and then Cash is followed up. VP banning Cash.
I mean, it is one of the maps that they also kind of are kicking out of their pool. No, actually, they don't want to play it as much. And knowing that now OpTiC has to ban 2 maps, they're pretty certain that they're going to ban here either Dust 2 or Nuke. There's no way that OpTic, you know, bans Cobble and Mirage here.
This is like the ball back in your court. Like, okay, well, you're going to want Dust
no way,
here at some point, right?
No, both maps.
Both maps, okay. So basically, if Cobble was to take it away, so they still get that opportunity to play.
And actually, VP succeeded. They've managed to get the guys from OpTic to do the nuke ban. So now they get to pick themselves which of these they want. I'm pretty sure we're going to Cobble at this point in time. Very unlikely we go to Dust 2.
I was scared for a second there, knowing VP and their shenanigans with Dust 2, how they're constantly practicing it and improving on it. But yeah, obviously, Cobble a much better map for them.
I actually think on Cobblestone, they might be the best team in the world. I mean, you look at their form over the last few months, they beat SK on it. It's really been a map that's just like come all the way back up the rankings, and suddenly they're the masters of it again. So I think this is a fantastic map for them. With that said, the old iteration before Tariq of OpTic, they used to love Cobblestone as well. They were very happy playing it. Used to be able to go very like head-to-head with NIP on it. So it's not a map that they're going to be totally uncomfortable on, but you have to feel like, I mean, they have been banning it at times. This is, VP is going to feel very confident in this game.
The reason I'm just staring at my laptop is because I swear, Yankee, were you there for Pro League? Didn't we see or hear about VP losing ridiculous result to Flipside on Cobble?
16-5.
16-5 to Flipside on Cobble.
That's true, and I agree. I think that recently, like very recently, but that's also mostly online, VP has had some pretty silly losses on Cobble, but when you look at their run at E-League pretty much and up till that point when they were playing mostly Tier 1 competition online, that's when they were undefeated on Cobble and had only maybe 1 loss on Mirage. So I think that here, I think Duncan like set the scene very nicely there. If OpTic manages to beat VP here now on Cobble, then they like legitimately achieved a huge success, and that puts them on the map right now.
That's awesome. 1 game of CS away from genuinely stamping some authority here. Not only sending VP home, but also, I think, gaining a whole lot of respect from us here at the desk, and of course, the crowd, no doubt, will be happy to see another North American presence, albeit majority Canadian, here in the playoffs tomorrow, kicking off Sunday, same time, same place. Before we do, to start talking about our predictions and our expectations of this one, of course, the polls, no doubt, the favorites. We're going to head over to our casting team one last time to have a little taste of what they are looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I think I'm looking forward to a lot. Going on to Cobblestone with Virtus.Pro is a very tasty tale, I have to say. And the way they've been playing in this tournament, we're seeing the consistent Virtus plow. Now, we know against North American teams, they are the killer, but OpTic today with utility has been incredible.
The way they were calling the map, especially against G2 as well, the defaults were great, the executions were on point as well, and the fakes were actually perfect. I love the way they're playing on the map. We know Cobble is a decent map for them, but you're right. VP on Cobble right now, great form. I'm pretty sure they're going to be taking this one. It's going to come down to whether OpTic can adjust them. Everyone pretty much knows how VP plays Cobble, right? It's like 4 players towards long, running that same default, trying to actually execute to the A side. They can fall back from it. I'm interested to see whether OpTic can adjust and actually bring something to the table in that respect, but still, I do heavily favor VP going into this.
Well, I have to agree with you, but OpTic does have the firepower. We know Tariq's decent on this map. He loves to contest toward B long. We'll see if that's still a trend. I don't know. I think it is Virtus.Pro, but I don't think it's going to be easy, guys.
I mean, it sounds like everyone's posing this as an open and shut case for Virtus.Pro. They said OpTic has the firepower, though, and if they are on all, you know, everyone is on form. Words are hard at this time of night. If OpTic are on form, could they genuinely go pound for pound versus this historical and infamous Polish roster?
The numbers don't look good. Virtus.Pro have won 12 of their last 14 on Cobble offline, so pretty good team on that map.
Jeez.
It's like Yanko said, the key thing is, if they can win this, there's no excuses to be given at this point in time. It's one of Virtus.Pro's best maps. They will be very comfortable. They're not going to be pushed out of their comfort zone. So therefore, if OpTic can go head-to-head with them, it really is like a straight-up match where you just bested them, you outplayed them.
if you're looking for a silver lining for OpTiC, or maybe a small storyline, is that Pasha has been pretty quiet in this tournament so far, and he's on the CT side, the player that has first contact towards B platform. And if OpTiC indeed sends Tarek there and he's on point, that can prove to be a big turning point for OpTiC, getting that man advantage and gaining ground in that area of the map. All around, VP is even more known for their T side, so I feel that now when they're facing elimination, I think that this is where they step up and secure that playoff spot.
Let's get into it then. I'm not going to ask you for predictions because you've already made it clear that Virtus.Pro are hot favorites, but OpTiC have a chance to truly throw down the gauntlet and get themselves plotted on the CSGO map. We know VP have been there for a very long time. We'll take a quick break. When we return, OpTiC Gaming versus Virtus.Pro does begin. One map and so much on the line for OpTiC Gaming. Can they join the North American brethren in the playoffs, or will it be Virtus.Pro joining the likes of Navi and SK tomorrow? We'll find out after this.
ESL One New York is brought to you in part by Alienware, Microsoft, CyberPower PC, Logitech G, PaySafeCard, The Score Esports, and NVIDIA.
Everywhere they go, Virtus.Pro does bring fanfare, and not always they bring consistency. That's the one thing they don't necessarily always have, but this event they seem to be Virtus.Pro that we know, the Virtus Plow, and we know they're good against North American teams. We already mentioned it, but OpTiC have been the surprise package of this event, and they have a chance to go through to the semis right now.
Knocking out some absolute giants, some favorites for the tournament as well. G2 gone, Astralis gone. Can they do it a third time and take out VP? That would be an astonishing feat for them to do. And look, I say in the semifinals as well, to be the second North American team to do it, that would be very interesting indeed. Cobble though, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure that the betas actually worked in their favor, but still a decent map for them. But Virtus.Pro known to be one of the best teams in the world on this map when they actually arrive. That's the key thing here. But they have been good at this tournament, and I'm sure they will succeed. But still, I hope OpTiC do give us a good game. And it looks like we're getting straight into this one, Matthew. It will be OpTiC Gaming starting the CD side of Cobble, Virtus.Pro on the T side as we get into the pistol. Crowd, are you still here? Good. So I like it.
They're here for you, Henry.
Yeah, I know. That's what I meant.
They told me personally during the break that every single person came back here and said, I'm here for Henry G.
Well,
So it's good to know that someone supports you, because I don't.
it's going to be Virtus.Pro with 2 smokes here and flashbangs, and potentially a faster play here as they're going towards the upper platform. It's going to be Snacks greeted by Rush and Nafly waiting on the other side of that smoke. Won't be fully committing just yet. 5 sets of armor for OpTiC as they take the first duel. No one landing that first headshot just yet.
Rush trying to get some information as well inside of that smoke, hasn't spotted it. But it's Taz that's over top the drop instead, down through the window, so fast as well. As the Tasmanian Devils causing a whirlwind inside connector that's going to distract long enough for Snacks to take down Mixwell, and Taz will start to push onto the A site. Perfect divide and conquer, but a 4-man snake rotating through this pillar position again as Nafly tries to get luck shots through the door, and anyone crossing over. Bomb planted, safe spot behind the hut. And
wow.
Snacks again, Rush and Stanislaw, they line up and go down very quickly. Virtus.Pro, finally, he's going to get silenced, put a huge lead in the round. As Taz fades back, Tarek tagged, he's down to 8 HP, and Taz just has to cover this off. Bialy's got Nafly, and Tarek, well, the armor not really much to save, but he's going to just try and pull this back. Maybe you just get frag money in this situation. They might chase down, they will chase down. They know exactly where he is. So Virtus.Pro going to take first pistol on the T side of Cobblestone. Wrap around, Bialy closes the job to make it exactly so.
I like that from Virtus.Pro. They're going in for the A split, but there's a little twist to it as well. They throw the smoke on the upper platform towards B. That takes vision away from the CDs there. They actually have to fully commit to get any information from it. They can't fully guarantee it's going to be an A-sided attack. VP use that to their advantage, fall back, go heavily through drop down there towards the connector. We saw 4 players coming into that A side. The 1 player waiting for them got absolutely wrecked. And at that point, it was a 4-man stack from OpTiC. And like we said, armor across the board, had no nades, no kits, has had to go for the frags. Doesn't work out, and VP pick up the pistol. Second round comes in. There won't be necessarily a force buy here from the CTs. They get PD-50s and Deagles, but no armor invested or grenades. It's quite a conservative second round. And we'll see whether this works out for them. Nafly's the one with the Deagle, looking to find that first headshot, but he's towards the upper platform for now. Virtus.Pro, 3 SMGs, they'll be slowing things right down and seeing if there is a bit of aggression. And Stanislaw does peek towards long A, but it's Bialy to open things up as he takes down Naf.
And Tarek spots the drop coming in. Fire in front, Bialy firing through with a back 10. Rush, though, times this accordingly. Gets 1 kill inside of the site. It's caused a little bit of chaos, but Pasha's there to solve the problem. Not long enough for Mixwell to catch him off, but Taz in prime position. Slower down the drop this time. A little more methodical as his teammates take the approach from long. He'll catch off and get the immediate trades. There's just Stanislaw remaining. P250 in hand, bomb planted. Virtus.Pro may have lost themselves 2, potentially more. No, not quite. Crosshair placement looked promising, but Taz there, they still get around, and it's 2 AKs saved, so good position to be in nonetheless.
OpTiC Gaming, like I said, didn't invest much into it and don't get much from it. So it's going to be another eco for them. Virtus.Pro, nice methodical play there, slowing it right down, finding those first kills, sticking together. Bomb goes down, it's a pretty simple affair. It's going to be around about 3 more of the same, I would say. They have grade 4 AKs, and it's going to be a UMP in the hands of Pasha here. Like I said in the little introduction piece, I do favour towards long A, but this time they will be going towards B. He's going to be walking into the bomb side, it seems. A couple of smokes going down, Molotov towards the other steps area. That's all you really need to do. You don't need to overcommit, see what the reaction is from the CTs. Just trying to find that first pick to open things up towards B.
Tries it, Tarek jumping up. The Deagle toward long. Naf going to try and get baited in on this as well. Tarek's definitely pulled the aggro, but the Molotov goes out. Naf not using that secondary archway spot we talked about. Less players using it than I would have expected with that Molotov coming in, but he does make time and ample opportunity to cross back into the site. He's got a shot as well on a Bialy, but it's just 1. As Virtus.Pro come in and Pasha, Snacks. Both getting kills on the way through. Cause for rotation. Are they going to go for the counter boost and try and get exits potentially? AKs in hand that causes a reinvestment.
It would be a bit of a reach, but certainly an option. And they are sticking together towards connector, just trying to see if they can do anything with these PD-50s. A nice little boost over the smoke. That's innovative at least, but I don't think it's going to amount to too much considering the weaponry they have.
And committing to that boost above the smoke means that therefore cannot go for the reverse drop, and guns should get away cleanly. They picked up the 4th AK-47 as well. Pasha on 13 is going to get far enough away from the bomb radius, and they'll leave Taz to babysit.
The good news is,
if Taz was your babysitter, would you be scared as a child?
No, he's a lovely man.
I might be scared.
I think he'll do a good job.
He'd probably just intimidate me, so I'd behave, but that's a tough opportunity.
Well, the good news is for OpTiC, not forcing that second round means they have got plenty of cash. They will have the grenades, defuse kits, the option for the AWP is there as well. A lot of teams on the CD side especially, will force buy into that second and be limited. Maybe have to go Famas's body armor and have a rough time in his first gun round. Not going to be the case here. Should be a nice healthy buy for OpTiC going forward. See Mixwell on the AWP, the main open for the team. No head armor required against the AKs, of course. They can get grenades instead. That saves $350. And it's be 4 and 4s. Mixwell on the open. Snax though. This is one of my favorite maps to actually watch Snax on, and we'll see him actually lighting up the score, but I'm sure momentarily as the initial smoke's going towards the upper platform here. We 3 towards B right now, 4 VP with the bombs towards A. And it's going to be in the hands of Neo, and needs to be joined by Taz as Mixwell patrols the mid-area with the AWP.
Pasha in toward the corner. But now from this boost at the tree as well. It's going to be the first to make contact when they do come in from that platform position. They'll swing out 3 members. Look at that mini-map, so close together to play a strict support system to compensate for whether the aggression is going to be drop or at long, because we know teams tend to alternate, and Virtus.Pro especially tend to alternate between the two. Molotov used in the first position, archway cleared off. Still 3 to work with as well to push back the staircase on the way through. And smoke's looking like they're increasingly going to be set in this position. With Stanislaw down at the bottom of mid as well, he'll get early confirmation based on sound cues if they're rotating back, so they can afford to put the rotation into now Mixwell toward the B side on the AWP, but smoke surely will cover off that doorway when they arrive. And down from drop, it is going to be Taz. Now the support system comes into play. Rush. He's got one with Tarek, and Naf is still on this boost. Bialy's gonna be the next to come in. They've got to go long. 3 players pouring in. Excellent shot from Bialy on the way through. But Mixwell's AWP has had lots of time. What was that? Surely it was on that one. Certainly was. Snax goes down. And the Spanish superstar is gonna try and find a second, but it's Bialy to find the kill and return, and they've pulled this back. It's now a 2 versus 2. Pasha's only got 1 HP though, and that's gonna drop the bomb. With 15 seconds left, Bialy's gotta try to get back into a position to grab that and plant. 8 seconds left. He'll commit to it behind the statue. They're both on the wrong side. Rush, he's going to concede the plant, but be there immediately to capitalize.
Well then, VP try their hand towards B. It's a nice default to start with. They push the CDs back on the A side of the map, getting the mid control as well. Mixwell missing that first shot. They go back towards B, and I thought they were going to go to full XQ at that point. They actually just tried to push their way into the site, but OpTiC Gaming finding those initial kills towards drop down gave them the man advantage, and VP did a decent job to bring it back down to a 2-on-2, but Bialy left in a 2-on-1 in the end. Couldn't do much of it. Lucky to get a plant down, to be fair. So overall, VP do get the extra cash going into round number 5. They get 5 AKs this time. No open hands of Snax. We can see OpTiC, they're struggling slightly. Naf's going to have the mag 7. Not necessarily detrimental on Cobble. It's certainly got a lot of options with that weapon, especially towards drop down, and maybe the broken wall area as well, as it's going to be another B heavy attack from Virtus.Pro. All 5 members committed to this side of the map for now. Taz has got the bomb in hands towards B halls.
Crossfire set as well with Tarek. So he and Naf seem to be teaming up together to hold off this position. 1 round on the board, but we always know that first gun round, it's if you win it on the team that lost the pistol, the round 5 is potential early reset.
Yeah.
And it can be equally as problematic. So you almost have to win back-to-back with the current money structure system in CSGO. And Tarek, with the smoke now out, is still going to buddy up with Nafly and leave Rush in a position where he has to cover off drop. And Virtus.Pro's being relentless on this B site. An arsenal of nades flowing down toward the doorway, cut off the rotations, but it's Rush again that has to compensate. It's Tarek that finds the first kill, dropping bomb temporarily. Damage done as well, but now it leaves Naf with the swag 7. He's got a 1 shot, but only 1 as Bialy pulls back, and Rush, he can't do any more. There's just too many Virtus.Pro members, but in the realm of things, overall, there's just 2 of them remaining. A little bit of team damage comes in. The timing nearly catches them off as Snax rotates around, but it's Bialy to get the trade.
Yeah,
they do manage. It was a grind, but they managed to pick up the round.
I was about to say, it's not the prettiest of rounds there, but they certainly count as Virtus.Pro back and forth there towards drop down. It was tight in an equal exchange. Now Mag 7 does find 1 kill. Mixwell struggling to land the shots there, 2 versus 2, and as soon as he finds his final shot there, he saw Snax capitalizing and finding the final spray down to allow his teammate to get the final kill as well. So like you said, a full reset for OpTic. More than likely give you 5 on at this point, as OpTic only have P250s and USPs to work with, a couple of flashbangs, that's about it. Actually could get caught out of hand though, because he's got the smoke in hand, and he managed to drop the bomb as well. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath here towards middle. OpTic coming out on top as well, just the USPs as Taz fights back. 1v1 now, bomb drop towards mid, up against Mixwell, who hasn't managed to recover a weapon, but Taz down to 39 HP.
What in God's name was that exchange? 1:25 and we're down to a 1-on-1, 1:16 now. Well, we've been in this case for 16 or 10 seconds rather, and it's gonna be caught off. Tarek He did the early damage, and Mixwell's able to pick up the AK. He read Taz like a book. He tried to get clever and catch him off on the rotation.
That timing just couldn't be any worse there for Virtus.Pro. Just as they were going to smoke middle and kind of run their default, that's when the players from middle showed their hand as well. An aggressive play from mid and long A. It was so messy, but still OpTiC Gaming with the man advantage comes down to the 1v1. Nice work for Mixwell to finish it off. It will be 4-2, and OpTiC find a lifeline here. Should have been 5-1 considering the buy. An amazing performance from them and a good read as we're going to round number 7. Fast play from Taz.
He's gone, he's gone.
Fire. They burn alive.
He thought he could beat the Flames, but he got tagged up by the nade. It killed his movement mechanics, and then the Flames were so far spread that he couldn't get away from the drop. That was actually lovely timing for that nade to come in and hit Taz.
Yeah, that nade has a stun effect, so as soon as you're hit by it, you're absolutely right. It stood on fire. You just can't escape it. So this was the force buy from Virtus.Pro. They had 1 AK, 4 Tech 9s, but the numbers are rapidly depleting as Tarek finds another kill here on the upper platform. Just Bialy and Snacks remain.
And we said OpTiC all day has been so good at using utility. All right, a little bit of luck that the timing of the nade catches Taz out, but the Molotov stops the early push, and then they push Pasha back from the corner and catch him in transition. Again, they use perfect utility against the opposition, and it's down to a 5 versus 2. Cheeky little boost. See above the smoke, but really all it does is reveal the curtain to Mixwell that Snacks is on the other side of it. Bialy now left in a 1 versus 5. He's just going to try and do economic damage. The AK at this point very unlikely to be saved because he's in a pincer of a position, and Mixwell proves that to be true.
Well, Virtus.Pro trying to bully their way in towards drop down that point, but like you said, OpTiC with a great deployment of the utility. It's the incendiary towards the drop down area, and this nade as well work out perfectly. Virtus.Pro wanted to make things difficult with the close range combat of those Tech 9s. Didn't even get an opportunity to find that first kill. It's a clean sweep for OpTiC, and we go to round number 8. This should be a full eco from Virtus.Pro. They have got 1 P50, that's it. So surely not going to be able to have similar results to what we saw from OpTiC as they go towards drop down, but it's the same sort of deployment, the incendiary and the HE grenade combo. I
love it. They just do it twice.
Just in case.
Yeah. Well, what are the odds they're going to do it twice from the Virtus.Pro side? And obviously they don't, but it's Stan now finally going to get some pressure over toward the A side. We haven't seen a lot of this from Virtus.Pro since the wrap back on pistol through connector, and Stanislav ready. Just wants to see them make contact and immediately deploy that smoke. Now when they push through, he's got a line up, 2 down, reads it like a book that they're going danger, and 3 kills. No way out of the trap eventually as Virtus.Pro will overwhelm, but job done. It may give a gun to Taz, but they've got now a 2-man advantage to work with, and Rush is pushed up accordingly. Taz is going to walk right into this, surely. They don't have the utility to check it. In fact, they don't even get that far. Naf's got the kills.
It was a full eco, but still a nice clean round there from OpTiC. Stanislav finds 3 kills, drops the smoke perfectly, sets himself up for a nice 3K, and it was Naf to finish things off there. But we go into round number 9. The guns are back out for VP. That's the smoke I'm talking about on the screen right now. What a perfect deployment that is. He spots 1 pixel, and he gives himself just a lovely little placement there to find the 3 kills. Good awareness towards danger as well. But this is the round that really counts. We go into the next gun round, 4-4. Definitely still a T-sided affair here on Cobble as Bialy by himself towards the upper platform. Flashed out for now. Aggressive play from Mixwell. This time it's towards the B side. He has been focusing towards A in previous rounds. Stanislav holding drop down danger, sorry. As he nades off, trying to do a little bit of early damage and does a lot there as well, but the first kill comes in for VP.
Considering how methodical VP is on this map, they're starting to get picked apart, but they approach much better as they pincer off 1 to danger. Tarek, he's rotated back in and he's gone aggressive down the ramp, so he won't be spotted from Pasha, but the flashback through, he's in the open. It's Snacks instead that wraps around because his teammate fully blinded up. It's all up to the position of Mixwell to catch them in transition. AWP and boom! It's on the inside of the wall. It's down in an awkward position. Nade doesn't quite land. And a nade, guys, thrown by a Spaniard, but it doesn't reach, and Pasha's able to assassinate accordingly.
That's actually a collateral AWP shot as well. He could have got the double. Takes him down to 17 HP. That could have been the moment that separates it, but still, Virtus.Pro find 1 in return. Focusing towards A this time, they're able to actually stick together, power in numbers, and make their way out towards long A. And they find the initial kills there. The AWP could have shut it down, but just can't let that nade. I think that nade would have killed him as well. That could have got them in a perfect position. But like he said, it bounces off and actually comes towards himself. Round number 10, money still available for OpTiC though, 5-4. As Snacks gets the AWP once more. Neo this time, working towards that upper platform area. And this is a more default, classic VP setup. Push the CDs back towards the A side of the map, get control of long A, then they decide what they can do at that point. Not so many grenades left over for the Polish side there. They've got 2 smokes, a couple of incendiaries and flashbangs to work with. They can't do a full execution towards B, so I would suggest at this point it's almost certainly going to be an A-sided attack. As Stanislav smokes them off, delays them for now toward those mid doors.
So Stan just waiting for anyone to push through. Wide angle, nade in this time. Lands perfectly toward Bialy. 71 HP left on him. I think they might go for the boost. Yep, they're gonna put Stan up in the corner. Now the issue with this is that they're late doing it, which means he's not gonna be in a position to cover from long. Stan could be caught in this. He's gonna have to get the kill and fight forward. In fact, not even that, as Neo's gonna take him down immediately instead, and they're gonna rotate off, saving early, very early. With 4 players still up, it does give them a chance in the next round, so they'll concede one, but playing the long game, OpTiC, and that takes discipline. I have to commend that.
Yeah, absolutely, a 5-on-4, but you have to just think about it overall. It's a 5-on-4, you have no one on the A-side whatsoever. You're gonna be coming out of a connector that's smoked off, a balcony, it's got Molotovs on top of it. It's very unlikely you're gonna win the round. You might as well keep the guns up, stick together, and look towards the bigger picture. I actually respect that a lot, the fact that OpTiC are having this sort of discipline. A lot of teams would actually go for that one and probably throw it away, but they're managing to keep their economy in a decent position at this point. But good round for VP overall. Like you said, that boost coming in, maybe a little bit too late considering at the point of the round they're in. The boost player doesn't have any backup from APC. That's the normal setup there. He gets completely wrecked. And good for OpTiC though, falling back. They do find another kill here. Neo does drop. They keep 4 players alive. So considering they lost the round, it's not the end of the world. We're still in the early stages of this game. It will be 6-4 for VP though. So still, OpTiC can steadily buy around this and have more grenades and defuse kits to work with as we go into number 11.
And the AWP in the hands of either side. Mixwell is going to be the one onto it for the CTs, as expected. And he's out toward long. Didn't have the most ideal spawn for it, so he won't beat them there, but he can at least get toward Bales and cover the first angle that Taz is approaching. So we're seeing a change of pace from Virtus.Pro, a change of approach over with a lot more A pressure. It's going to be a split from drop if they could find the kill on Rush, and he just barely survives it, which will foil the plans, at least for a moment, as Mixwell tries desperately to hit the shot just to the right.
Okay, then, well, Rush did very well to actually stay alive in that drop-down encounter, but it looks like it will be another A-sided attack here. All 5 players from Virtus.Pro towards this side of the map. They have got smokes to connector and the Molotovs to the balcony as well. You'd assume that's the play coming in.
Mixwell hitting the shot at Bialy, but as you said, they're already pushing onto this aggressively. They're already around the corner to Stables, and they know he's here, so there's no element of surprise, but there is a linear perspective. Oh, the play toward cannons. Have they heard him? It doesn't matter. Up close. Oh, he doesn't hit the no-scope. So close. But Pasha back inside of the site. It's a Molotov to try and compensate for it. 14 HP for Pasha. That almost reaches. A bomb planted. An advantage now. Virtus.Pro as Neo will take down Naf. Again, they're going to have to concede and fall away, OpTiC.
Yeah, Rush is 6 HP. It's just not worth it. Although they could probably kind of up a couple of kills, it's just not looking in their favor as we go into another round for VP. They're 3 in a row now. And Pasha, as he's planting the bomb, they were so close. That Molotov just missing him by millimeters as he planted the bomb. That could have been their entrance into it. Would have brought it down to a 2-on-2 with the bomb not being planted as well, but it just wasn't meant to be for OpTiC this time. VP back towards middle this time. Long A just sticking together, power and numbers. Not the most tactical execution, but just bossing their way into the bomb site there. Mixwell finds 2 kills, and like he said, that no-scope connected, had a real chance of finishing it off. Neo should die here. Okay, he does find Rush, and that's certainly dents the economy of OpTiC going forward. 7-4 now. And they have managed to save 1 rifle, but they can't really force into this round. It's going to see what they can do with Tarex. Saved over weapon as we're at around by 12. VP with a quite considerable lead now here on the first half.
Considerable indeed. Not anything discouraging from OpTic's perspective, though. We know this map does lend itself to getting terrorist rounds. So they're still in this, but problem is now on the CT side, they're clawing back into an economic situation. Tarek, the only rifle. Passive angle to hold as well inside of the B site. Smokes, nades, all of the above toward that position, and it's all for sale. And sale they need not do, except for open waters back to a very calm A site because it's a stack toward B. And 1 player left to rotate, catch them off. It's Bialy to do so. Neo's gonna just hold the door. Yes, I know, everyone loves a meme. As they go to plant inside of the A site.
Do they?
I mean,
I'm not sure I love them.
well, you don't really love anything, Henry.
True.
Except for Morrissey.
Yeah, well, can't deny that.
Well, the late play from Bialy's not going to pay off, so it will give an AK to them. Or rather, should give it to them as Mixwell climbs the stairwell and will finally grab it. It didn't quite fall over the edge. Either way, it's a gun to complement that of Tarex, and it does give them a little bit of bonus money in the sense that they won't have to buy an M4 in the next round. Look for the positives, try and build upon it. It's going to go to 8-4 in favor of Virtus.Pro as the bomb short of blast. And again, they play a disciplined situation in this OpTic. With 5 players alive, they give up the round, just knowing they don't have the firepower. They will get one in the end. Neo going hunting, and Tarek, the M4 important kill. They have to keep these guns moved across. That's an AWP. This is big. Stan needs to get out. He's got out. Headshot. Oh, he's caught in the end. Pasha there. The AWP to go with that would have been huge, but they end up with 2 AKs instead now, so that's big for the bank account.
Absolutely, that's certainly beneficial for OpTiC going forward, but still, VP pick up the round, but OpTiC doing a decent job towards the end there. They do have a healthy buy going into round number 13. No all purchase from Mixwell. He did have the option to bring it out, but he has the AK, so going to be going for the full rifle setup here, and we're now getting to the point where OpTiC do need to find a few more rounds here. Stanislaw and Mixwell changing their setup. Long A has been a problem for the CT, so they've got a bit of a bait and switch here. Stanislaw to take the first shot and Mixwell to spray them down, but for now the bomb is in the B halls. And that's actually in the hands of Bialy. You can see the CT's actually adjusted now, not having so much presence towards drop down. It's Rush who's actually playing the connector room. The bomb site's actually fully open, man. This is quite a weird setup. If we look at the mini-map at the top left, no one's playing inside the site whatsoever. They're willing to retake it, which is weird. If VP actually get into that site and they smoke connector, that's another safe position. You can't win that round. You can't try and push through smoke. And at this point, it's looking very likely that could be the outcome. All in moment for OpTiC. It's an interesting setup, I have to say.
You have to think with timing, they'd want to go back over to the B side as well, but they've already given up drop. Rush has heard this. Naf can't push through and Rush down. Naf has no movement at all. Bomb's still going back toward A though, because they think this is the opportunity for a split. Naf's done them a job, and it's going to be followed up as Tarek finds 2. So in some weird way, it does work out, because losing drop, they think the split opportunity presents itself in the fact that there's a presence on B. They never check the inside of the site. Bialy now has to go 1 versus 3, so a little bit of luck just based on those kills and how it forced the rotations.
It's just the all-in moment. You're just banking that no one makes their way towards upper platform, and I guess Virtus.Pro haven't been showing their hand too heavily towards that area. They've been focusing very much towards drop down and the A bomb site itself. So OpTiC with the very unorthodox setup. It works out for them as well. They funnel the terrorists back towards the A side, and Tarek's waiting for that double spray down at the top of mid.
Interestingly enough, not many of the timeouts used in this, just to keep track of that, because we do have to keep an eye on how this whole Valve coaching rule has changed things in CS. But at the same time, that was a counter call. Like you said, we saw early on Virtus.Pro was relentless on B. Then they shifted to A for about 4 rounds. They read it. OpTiC got it right on that gamble. And now we'll go back to a standard default, because surely Virtus.Pro is going to realize, okay, A's not working, let's go back over there. And they're going to read this correctly again, at least at the start for the default.
Well, it's a 5-man setup for Virtus.Pro as we go into round number 14. Going to be sending everyone to the B side this time, focusing towards the platform. You said this time they've adjusted correctly once again. Tarek's waiting for them. He gets the first shot. This Virtus.Pro team can't push through the smoke, but Taz, he's doing a good job with the UMP here. Gets the double kill as well. It's going to be actual manpower in favor of OpTiC still. Well, got a bit exciting there, but they have been shut down as Pasha up against 3.
Flash in and perfectly timed. Tarek pops back out and shut down once more. As Virtus.Pro's money dwindles as well. Taz is the high roller right now. He's the big baller on the team, but he's only got 3250. Not exactly ideal.
Yeah, and it's the last round as well, so obviously just have to go all in, hope for the best. They get a Galil, 2 Tech 9s, a Deagle, and Neo finishes off with a P250. Not looking too good. They have got 3 smokes, so I guess in this sort of play, Waller smokes towards B, flashes over, try and have that snowball effect with the Tech 9s, and it's Taz going in very fast with Galil. He wants to try and get this first kill, and he's actually going to find as well. Tarek just didn't read that at all. He gets his head blown off, and a chance for Taz to get more, but Rush does take him down.
Back to 3 versus 3. 1 AK still for Neo. Flash timing. Naf's able to turn back. Spray transfer successful. Double headshot M4. Neo is deep inside the site. We've talked about how he's stepped up tremendously for Virtus.Pro. A jump from Naf nearly costs him. And 1 minute and 17 seconds for Neo to work with. He does find the first kill. That's going to give away his position, but bomb is available to him now as a result of this. Not in its entirety, because they do have Stan watching from long. Molotov to clear out the corner, and Neo, he wants in there. He's going to go to the AWP. He knows the long corridor is a position where this gun a lot more favorable. Quick check toward drop as he crosses over, and again, 51 seconds. He's got time, and they're going to let him grab this. They are going to give him the bomb and play it together. It doesn't matter if he gets a plant down. Money, not a factor. It's round 15. Play this as a unit. Play this as a team, and this is going to be frustrating in some ways for Neo that they're not making mistakes. He wants them to be caught off guard right now.
Well, Neo is the master of these situations. Still has 30 seconds to play with. Will be getting the bomb down here, but that's when the clutch really begins. Stanislaw in the B halls, Mixwell and Connector. They're going to try and pinch better together. If one of them goes down, though, before the other arrives, that is a huge problem and opens a window of opportunity up firmly for Neo. Will he find his first shot towards the upper platform? Misses the jump. Oh, the no-scope. I thought it was coming. But
well, it certainly wasn't. Very good recovery in the half. 8-7 is a very good scoreline from a CT perspective. But it's also par for the course on Cobblestone and Virtus.Pro. Cobblestone team, I gotta give credit to OpTiC again though. Good utility usage and very good reading to eventually adapt to that A-side play.
Yeah, that crazy setup as well. No players towards the B side. It works out for them. And VP don't look too happy about that half as well. You have to say, the way they started and the lead they had as well, for OpTiC to pick up those last 3 rounds with that innovative play, you've got to commend them for that, and they're still very much in this game. As they switch over to the more favored half as well, the pistol will be very important, but for now we'll take a very quick break and see which way this game develops, as OpTiC will be switching over.
Played very well to pull back into that half. And Virtus.Pro, one side of the map, 4 rounds, other side of the map, 4 rounds, countered, and then go back over to B, but OpTiC read this switch the second time around to pull back in. And good individual performances all the way through. Bialy leads the way for Virtus.Pro, but everyone on OpTiC has been contributing.
Absolutely. One more half will decide it. Who will be our final semi-finalists here? OpTiC Gaming or Virtus.Pro. Liquid have already done it, and OpTiC looking to join them and being the second North American representation, but still Virtus.Pro, one of the strongest teams on this map, on the entire planet. They're certainly the favorites going into this one, but so far OpTiC have put up a very convincing battle so far. We always say the pistol, especially in the second half, is going to be a very important factor here, and the buys coming in for OpTiC. 3 sets of armor, Rush with the smoke and 2 flashbangs. Stanislaw yet to buy. This tournament, we haven't seen too many Deagles, man, the T-pistols. That's been a trend recently.
Not in the pistol, yes, you're right.
It's been, especially online and some other tournaments.
Because Nico's not here.
True.
And Scream's already knocked out.
Yeah, I guess those are important factors, but it seems to be something that's been not as prevalent in this tournament especially, but maybe Stanislaw bring it to the table. Looking at the Virtus.Pro buy, they've got 4 sets of armor. Neo with the HE grenade, interesting enough, and a little diffuse kit there as well.
So momentary hold as we get ready to go. Snacks, not too impressed by this. Snacks looks like he needs a nap.
Yeah, it's been a long day here. We go into the semis tomorrow, 3 best of 3s. The Swiss format can be quite grueling for teams.
It can be. And a Swiss format with 8 teams, hence why this 8th game existed, because if Liquid had lost the first time round to Fnatic, it wouldn't have been required, because it would have put Fnatic far enough ahead, but it leveled them at 2-2. They were 1-2, Fnatic was 2-1, but because of the situation with the even number of teams, someone had to have the disadvantage of playing it, and Liquid prevailed in that situation, which hats off to them, but that's why we're in this situation with an 8th game today.
Well then, the imports comes in. 1 smoke available for OpTiC here, 4 sets of armor. The crowd seems ready. The hometown heroes OpTiC looking to get to the semi-final here.
Come on now, Henry. I can't quite say it's a hometown hero. There is a Canadian flag. It's the one team I get to cheer for.
Okay, Snacks. He's not cheering so loud as he gets the first headshot that takes down Stanislaw. A very nice way to open up this pistol.
Not to discount Virtus.Pro. I do love seeing the plow get rolling, but right now it is OpTiC responding. Pasha going down is going to bring this back. 4 versus 4 also puts a little bit more pressure onto these B hallways, and Bialy is the only one directly inside the B site right now, as Mixwell is also holding at the statue side, the T side of mid For anyone who dare push through for a fast rotation, it's down drop as well. It's a snake, it's a cutoff, and a smoke out. Neo's gone to the wrong side of it. He's in the B site. This is going to be the split. Mixwell will go now. And suddenly it's Snacks who's isolated. Not Bialy, but Snacks is up to the task. One quick quill, Rush drops. Check to his left to make sure no one comes in from long, and it's a straight dual flash comes in though. And that favors Mixwell as it gets far enough over the stables, but bomb dropped again. As Neo's caught him on the way by, it's down at the front of the APC. He's got full vision onto it, and therefore he calls his teammate through the vent because he can cover off on Tarek. They can both see it together rather than on the balcony. And Mixwell do what he can. It's a double peak position, and Virtus.Pro is going to take pistol number 2.
Another ace split coming in that I thought OpTiC Gaming had the advantage as well, especially when they found that kill towards Snacks. But Neo, he gets the most vital kill of them all, drops the bomber towards the bomb side there, and it's in a horrible position, 2-on-2. And at that point, Virtus.Pro positioned himself very efficiently indeed, and Bialy finds himself in the 2 versus 2 and lands that kill that he secures the round as well. We go into the second one here. There is no force buy from OpTiC, which is interesting. Once again, the standard force CSGO at the moment, if you don't get the bomb down, you're force buying in the second round as a tease, but OpTiC a little bit more conservative once again. No armor purchase whatsoever. PD50s, Deagles, and Virtus.Pro, not a single rifle, Matt. It's a strange round, I have to say. It's going to be 3 MP9s, a P90, and a UMP. It's very uncommon to see this kind of buy coming in, but for now, Virtus.Pro in a great position considering the buy from OpTiC. No armor to protect them, so these SMGs will just chew them apart.
It is a long position to play off of, though, for the SMGs. It seems like such a bizarre map to do it on with so much space, but there's a lot of these choke points, and Snacks is going to try and execute onto one right now. With damage going his way early on, though, coming out worse for wear. He's got to use utility to get back in, and now he's got a lion's den of 3 OpTiC players just staring him down. So back away he will try to go, thinks better of it, and he who hesitates loses as Tarek's gonna find the shot with the Deagle back over toward B. Neo's caught off. Oh, the positioning from Mixwell, how clever is that?
Yeah, he holds the flanks there, and they do find the first 2 kills here, but Pasha in a great position with his P90, the perfect weapon to go against unarmored players. He's not detected for now. It's going to be a big spray down. He gets 1, he gets the second and the third as well. He brings the round in favor for his teammates, Bialy to finish things off. And it got a bit scary there for Virtus.Pro, but they managed to come out on top in the end. It wasn't a force buy from OpTiC, but certainly made a good effort of it. Virtus.Pro getting very aggressive in these rounds as well, pushing in towards those B-Halls and the pistol, and on the second round there as well, getting punished both times, but managing to recover that P90. 2-0, and I assume it's another eco going into this one from OpTiC. And it will be that. A couple of PD50s and a Tech 9, no nades. Should be another simple affair. This time Virtus.Pro do have the rifles, and you're right, it's certainly one of those maps you want to be sitting back and not challenging, but Snacks, he doesn't care. Towards the MP9, he finds the first headshot towards Stanislaw.
MP9 from that range as well. Mixwell's going to start to get an information, a read. Notice of assessment toward Bialy. He's playing out toward the arch instead, and Rush slowly go and gather with his teammates. Bialy ready. Drop down, he'll hear it, line up, Tarek dropped. He's down to 8 bullets left though, and that's gonna cost him. He doesn't even get time to readjust onto Naf, who does pick him up with a P250. It's gonna be a gun grab, reload needs to come in, 1 bullet left. He wouldn't have the kill regardless at that point in time. It's OpTiC that's gonna find another kill as Neo falls at the hands of Rush. It's 2 versus 3. They are starting to lose money, down to just 2 SMGs remaining, but Pasha, he'll close it out once more as he's upgraded onto the M4, and now the full guns to come out for Virtus.Pro, surely.
Well, we'll see. They have managed to keep Snacks of an MP9 here. An interesting decision, but it will be the first gun round for now. 11-7, OpTiC Gaming with a ton of cash. They didn't invest too heavily in that second round. You can see they've got a full array of utility. 5 smokes, 5 Molotovs. Execution potential going to be there for sure. No orbs on either side here. So what does MP9 work out for Snacks? I'm not so sure. He normally plays towards mid or long A, as he will be firmly holding towards mid, but he's got the Tech 9 in hand for now. As OpTiC are smoked out, a decent grenade comes in, does 50 damage towards Naf as well.
Just missed that opportunity in the gap of the smoke. Naf's there, flashes over. Pasha's gonna go through. He'll bypass undetected. Naf knows he's gone somewhere, but doesn't know, and he's gotta commit to the inside of the site because he's the foil in all of this. Meanwhile, back to business on the A side. It's Naf that's gonna cut off rotations. But it's an isolated individual in Taz who's trying to find his way into the corner. Mixwell's not in a position to come up from danger yet to catch him off, so it's a 1 versus 1 as he isolates down, taking Stan, and Tarek, he wins the duel on the second approach for OpTiC. It's gonna force Bialy out, and they still can't find where Naf has gone, which makes saving an even harder possibility at this point in time if they want to go for this retake. They've got no idea the timing with the bomb now planted.
Well, that was a very strange run indeed. It was Naf who managed to negate Pasha. They crossed each other in the smoke as well, and he could see Virtus.Pro had no idea that was going on. They're rotating back towards A as well. Naf finds out one kill, and that's pretty much round over at that point. It's going to be a nice clean one for OpTiC here, but Pasha doing some damage. He's towards the top of middle here, not backing down just yet, but Naf, he's going to be taken down as well. 2-on-2, but the bomb surely far out of reach here, as it's just Pasha trying to look for the exit kills. It will be OpTiC Gaming picking up this first gun run, but still residual cash, especially if Virtus.Pro save these weapons going through to the next round. And Pasha's still hungry for more here. The bomb might take him down, but it actually will be Mixwell to finish him off. And there it is, 3-1. He managed to get some decent exit kills here. The money's not as great as I thought it would be. Bialy's the only one who saves over the AK-47, but they are forcing into this round. They do manage to get 4 rifles and a UMP. And OpTiC need to be careful after the reinvestment. This will be a hard reset for them if they were to lose this round. No AWP available for either side once again. 5 AKs for them. So going to round number 20. 11-8. This will be an eco for either side, whoever loses this round. So one of the defining moments of this game.
Rush and Mixwell, the ones at the forefront right now toward the B position. Naf just holding for rotations. Back inside Dragon Lore hallways. Pasha as well inside of this smoke. He went through last time. This time he'll wait, but he's caught off the flash, and Rush considers the possibility, but it's Neo to respond immediately. He's still on top of the site, but he's not fast enough, and rather Stanislaus too fast, but watch Bialy as they trade again. It's Tarek that's finally going to give them an advantage that stabilizes, at least for the moment, and he heads over toward Mo's house to try and hold off the pushback through the smoke, and it's Taz with a UMP. He's only on 12, so that UMP could be detrimental to them, as is that nade, as Taz times it to perfection. The second nade as well. Oh, Tarek's gone. And Naf is going to have to fly in this situation because 2 players in the bomb down, smoke on top of it. He's got to line it up, knows the second player is going to peek, and Taz prevails.
What a retake that was from Virtus.Pro. OpTiC with the perfect execution. They find the initial frag. There's equal exchanges, so then the bomb's going down. They have the man advantage, but Taz, he steps up tremendously there. Only the UMP as well, that grenade towards the chicken coop. An absolute masterclass in terms of the retake there from Virtus.Pro, and that has broken the money for OpTiC. They managed to get the bomb down though, so it's not a horrible effect going forward, but they are forcing into it. It's 2 AKs, 3 Tech 9s, the extra $800 definitely making this a possibility for them. They know the money's not going to be great for Virtus.Pro. They're trying to shut them down and reset them in return. As we go into round number 21, it's 3 players for OpTiC towards long A. The bombs and B halls for now. And there's 2 weapons in the hands of Mixwell and Rush. They're both towards the B hall, so you would assume that's where the final play will come in. At this point, it's OpTiC trying to get some reconnaissance towards the A side of the map, push back in his TDs, take some vision away, maybe pull a rotation from B before their teammates try and do the final play towards the B side as Snacks. Aggressive, of course, towards middle. He'll be falling back for now, though, as the smokes and flashbangs come in. He's just trying to hear footsteps, get something out of this.
Bomb just waiting inside of the tunnels. Decent utility to work with, considering there's only 2 rifles right now on this OpTiC side, and they elected to do so. That's why the Tech 9s come out rather than Galil's, perhaps. Means they've got the Molotovs, and the reason I mentioned it is the positioning out toward long right now. It's Pasha in his corner with a shotgun. He's going to try and get baited in off of Neo.
This could be perfect if Neo can just show enough aggression there, and that will do. He gets the first kill. Looking for the second as well. Needs to be careful here. It's Mixwell that sprays him down for the smoke. We did say Pasha, he's waiting there with the Max 7 in hand. It does fall back, could upgrade to the M4, but he's sticking with the shotgun for now. There's the upgrade.
I still want to see if more players. Oh, this is perfect from Stanislav. Great response from Bialy in that position. He has to be so fast, but Tarek follows through. Bialy goes down, and Pasha's found before he can do anything from the stairwell. And that drop position becomes the way in which Virtus.Pro will suffer in this round. It's on to Taz, 1 versus 3, and he's got a kit, he's got armor, but no utility. He's close on the case considering the bomb just got planted. But how does he even approach the situation? There's so many angles on the other side of that doorway. The first being where Tarek's playing over toward the cubby. He's gotten a little bit forward. He makes himself known. Taz is aware of it, sprays in, tries to find him, but can't control the spray long enough, and Tarek dances successfully to find the round for OpTiC as they go up to 9. Still, though, Virtus.Pro in the lead on 12.
Yeah, but they're going to be a full eco here. That was a big play from OpTiC. The force spy comes in. It's 4 Tech 9s and an AK-47. Tarek somehow gets himself with the connector. He's the one that really brings the round into their favor. Coming through the connector door, finds 2 kills, shuts it down, and Virtus.Pro just can't get going there. I thought they were set up perfectly as well. Neo baiting in Pasha, but doesn't work out for them. They get overwhelmed by the Tech 9s. And the backstab works out very nicely indeed. It's 12-9, but still anyone's game. This round should be guaranteed for OpTiC, considering the buy from Virtus.Pro. A CZ and P250, that's pretty much all they have to work with here. 1 smoke for Neo, and a full array of AK-47s for OpTiC. Surely going to be finding double figures here. It'll be a travesty for them to drop this round, as Neo takes the first bit of damage there, goes down to 16 HP.
Tarek. This is an interesting thing to talk about as well, because Tarek used to be famous, you and I saw it all the time, at just spraying immediately into that box and catching people, surprisingly, because he would do it every single round. But when they added the stairwell, it was almost like it was a counter to Tarek doing so. Good use of utility again from OpTiC. They're going to push Virtus.Pro back. I think the best thing that they brought to the table today is the use of Molotov specifically, as Mixwell is going to find Bialy as well. It's on to Taz. Behind the statue, can't find the angle, and Naf wrapping around the tree position is going to get the shot into Taz.
Yeah, I was singing their praises against G2 earlier as well. Even when they're up against a full EQ, they're aware of that as well. They're not allowing anything to be a risk factor going forward into these actual bomb sites themselves. They're actually using every bit of utility, treating it like a gun round, keeping the numbers high, and making sure they have refrag potential every single corner as well. It was very, very well executed. As we go into round number 23, money's still not available for Virtus.Pro. This could be a double eco, and I think it almost has to be, considering they've got about $3,500 per player. So OpTiC closing the gap slowly but surely. Should be 12-11 here. It's still anyone's game, but OpTic on the favored side still have a very strong chance of making them their way towards the semi-finals here. So the final buy comes with Virtus.Pro. 3 CZs, 2 BT50s, some body armor. There's still a lot of work to do here as they do for the 3-man setup towards long A.
Maxwell, Molotov, checklist. Clear arch, that part's done, but the smoke's still in front of him. He's got to try and walk into the site. And probe out the rest of the information. Still just pistols for this Virtus.Pro side. There's no one directly up close. It's Pasha that wants to try and figure out what's going on inside of all those smokes, but it's the stack over toward A, instead drop. That's probably the best position they could have gone in, considering the positions right now. And Pasha's going to try and dance inside smoke, but already tagged, already spotted, already communicated to Mixwell, who gets the kill. It's bombed down. And rotations to the perimeter of the site. Possibly that's all. They just want to try and get exit damage, maybe get some guns to carry over into the next round.
OpTic giving us a hell of a game here. This is going to go right down to the wire. Virtus.Pro will be able to buy into the next round. It will be a full buy as well. We haven't seen many AWPs here at all on Cobble. I think we're almost guaranteed to have Snacks bring it out on the next round. They are going to be at the third stage loss bonus. They get $2,400 on top of his $3,100 right now. And this is when he really comes to his own. He's really great on the CD side of Cobble. Very dynamic and aggressive with the AWP, especially towards long A and middle. He's not scared of taking that long A face towards mid as well. So we'll see whether that comes in. I'm almost certain of it. OpTic, though, another successful round for them. They managed to keep all 5 players alive, obviously not really taking any damage whatsoever, and they're going to keep 5 players alive. Pasha, the only one to go down. And here we go then. This is where things start to get really interesting. Another gun round, and we'll see whether that all comes out for Snacks. It certainly does. He gets a bit of body armor to go with it as well, and he's going to be the linchpin here going into this next round. We have got a tactical pause. I would say this is for Virtus.Pro. That would make sense at this point. Where are they going to position Snacks? Where's he going to get this first kill? Can go towards upper platform, long A, middle, like I said. He wants to be trying to hunt for that first frag.
And a rare situation. I say rare, it's a common situation previously, but in the last games that we've seen today, a rare situation where this is almost our first time out of the game. I think it is our first time out of the game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it is.
Considering there's so many available to them, and like we say, you might as well just use them, unless you've got momentum firmly on your side, you don't want to break that. You might as well use them in every half. So round 24, this is almost when we would see them in the former rule set.
Well, then it comes undone. VP, like I said, with that AWP. Snacks having a quiet game for his standards on his map. He's normally such a beast on this one. He's on 12 for 16 right now. But now he has the AWP in his hands on the CD side. I think this is when things start to get a little bit more exciting for him. Round number 24, 5 AK still. Mixwell not using the AWP just yet, and they're being very successful with these rifles, so doesn't actually call for one as of yet. As Mixwell going towards that upper platform area. Very standard round so far. Molotov in the steps, smoke towards the upper platform. And we'll see whether Snacks, he's actually towards long A. Not as aggressive as I'd like, or what I'm used to seeing, but Stanislaw, he's aggressive, and he takes over towards drop down. Well, it's boost.
They're trying to line it up. They gotta get a little bit closer to the smoke to give the full vision. Tarek's just gonna hold off on the window. We know Taz is deadly on the outside of that position. We saw it at Cologne. 9 kills in 2 rounds for him, and That position, good shot from Neo. Mixwell caught. And he gets up close, takes him down with the M4. Pash is going to try and do the same at drop, but there's 3 players in there. Smokes now and Flash is bounced out. That'll cover off Bialy's position at the rock, which gives Rush a lot more of an opening. But watch Taz, they're lined up. He gets 2. Only 2, but damage done as well on the Naf, which means Bialy's going to take down Tarek, and now Naf has to go with 56 HP. Grab the bomb. Sure, 49 seconds left, but find 2 kills. They have no idea where he went. Almost missed his opportunity with the missed shot, but Bialy goes down, and now he could start to play the long game against Snacks, who's just going to hold position, though, and the AWP will give 13 to Virtus.Pro.
Yeah, Snacks didn't have to work too hard for that one. Just holds his crosshair towards that cross to the bomb side there, and Naf just walks into it. So, an interesting round, but Virtus.Pro pick it up. 13-11 now. Still money available for OpTiC. It all started from that kill from Neo, and OpTiC tried to force away into the B side, but smoked out, tried to use the boost in the drop-down area. Can't find the frag, and it's Taz coming in the back and get that double spray down. That brings the round in their favor. 13-11, 5 AKs still for OpTiC. They'll be running that very standard setup here. They have got a lot of execution potential. We saw it on Cash, we've seen it on Cobble so far as well. I think that's when they'll be the absolute strongest there. They can segregate these CTs. The Passion now back on the Mag 7. A weapon he's actually very strong on Cobble, I have to say.
Yeah, he's definitely, interestingly, using it in this position. He's one of the players that this shotgun comes to mind. We normally see it when we see it, JW included. The blood splatters on the box. We normally see it toward drop space because it's just more contained, it's more confined, and therefore favors itself to this weapon. Pasha elects continuously to use it here. He's gonna miss his opportunity perhaps this time as the flashes come through. Stan pushes him out of position, but Snacks, oh, what a shot from Stan! Was waiting at KFC, but couldn't find the entrance back through. Watch Neo trying to push the smoke. He's been lost in it. Mixwell, he's got the shot on the way by, but was fully blinded, didn't even know, and continued to spray down as it falls to just 2 players remaining for Virtus.Pro. And after a flurry of rounds going the way of OpTiC, losing this is a 3-round reset for Virtus.Pro in a 1-round game for OpTic at 13-12. They trail by 1.
This is a double eco for Virtus.Pro now as well. That's a hard reset for them. They only won 1 round previously. They only get 1,400 going into this one, so another pause coming in for VP now. I would say it's almost certainly a double eco. That's going to give OpTic the chance to get 14-13. Okay, now this became a really interesting game. Virtus.Pro, though, we were waiting for that execution to come from OpTic. That's what they're so good at as well. They seem to be so drilled in those scenarios. It's a perfect wall of smoke. The flash is coming as well. They nailed that first kill towards Pasha, and then no one from Virtus.Pro can find any kills at that point. So they take the pause here just to discuss how they operate going forward.
So a timeout left aside. And OpTic, again, so impressive on the day, but you saw Taz's look as well. He's so perplexed. He doesn't know what to do. And this is one of those situations, again, where OpTic has all of the demos available to them. They can look up absolutely anything. The history of Virtus.Pro, longest standing roster, I think, at this point in almost all of CS history, not just CSGO, I think 37 months. So 3 years plus a month, almost 2 at this point, that they've been together with this 5-man unit. And therefore, there's tons to read on them. But OpTic, what, 2 months with this lineup, if that? And there's not much available in terms of Land's performance for them to look at. So it is very hard to know what you're going against in this team for Virtus.Pro, and certainly they weren't expecting this level of, I want to specify, Molotovs and utility to really isolate Virtus.Pro's position.
Yeah, the usage of the set pieces, the utility as well, has been tremendous from OpTic. And like we said, they've knocked out G2, they've knocked out Astralis. It's been a fantastic tournament for so far. They take down VP as well. The trifecta of these giant teams would be absolutely phenomenal for them. Definitely an underdog coming into this tournament, but showing they can run with the big boys as well. Looking at the buy with Virtus.Pro, like I said, it's definitely double eco territory, so they're going to try and buy what they can. They're double eco regardless, and they might as well try and see whether the CZ can have any effect here as we go into round number 26. A chance for them to actually take the lead here. It'll be 13-13, yes, but it'll be another eco that will get in round number 14. Rush reading the situation quite nicely. He gets the Mac 10. Means he can throw himself into positions like drop down or towards danger. Try and find those first kills and not give too much away. Giving a Mac 10 to a CT against armored terrorists isn't such a big deal, and you can actually work out whether the stacks may lie lying towards a certain area.
So from one CZ player to another, one close angle to another, it's Virtus.Pro that has to hope for some chance, some luck in this situation, and already it's Mixwell to take down Pasha as they execute onto him, push him out into the open. Good response from Taz. That's 1 flashed up. It's actually going to be Bialy finding another 2, in fact, in total to make this interesting nonetheless, but it does still come down to a 2 versus 1 as Stanislaw and Nafly Gonna try and start to work in toward the B site. Bomb in the hands of Stanislaw. He's not gonna cross all the way through to the side. He wants to get Naf in a position where he's got the high ground, can see toward the door, toward drop, toward the flank, and Stan's gonna double check this. Snack's not spotted on this. He's in the open, you know, in the bomb, 13 seconds. If it's denied, if this pistol lands, it could be round over. The AWP at that range might have been better, but he was already committed, and Naf's gonna take him down. He's gonna punish him. 13-13, OpTiC have a game.
Yeah, the problem for Snacks in that position, had he had a P250, a CZ, anything but the USP, had a real chance taking that player down on the bomb side there. He picks up the orb, sure. Had he nailed that shot on the tree, he could have had a really interesting round, considering we're at the 7-second mark as well. Wasn't meant to be, and OpTiC have tied things up. Like I said, double eco for Virtus.Pro here. Have to just take another eco on the chin. P250s, USPs. And we'll have a look at the setup as well for the CD side. 2 players towards the B side of the map. You can hear the OpTiC fans coming to life now. It looks like a straight up B rush here. Rush coming in first, and he gets the first headshot as well. Bialy surely going to drop around him. And there it is, a clean sweep for OpTiC. They're going to be picking up round number 14 and taking the lead here on Cobble as well against VP. This is insane if they were to knock VP out of the tournament. Who would have thought this would be the scene set at the beginning of the day?
It would be 2 North American sides. Through it would be Virtus.Pro. Down, and they're the North American giant in a situation, at a knockout game. It's not common you see that situation at all. And Snacks now in a 1 versus 5, and remember there is 1 timeout remaining for them. Might be time to use that as guns are going to be drawn and game is almost going to be on the line at that point. OpTic with 14 rounds. I'm waiting for to say when to confirm it. It's right there, right now from Stanislaus. He'll execute Snacks. And money massive on their side. It's last-ditch effort. There it is. OpTic actually call the timeout. Okay, this is interesting. So OpTic call their pause. They use their second one to make sure they don't make mistakes.
They want to see what the perfect approach going into this one. The set-piece stores B have been fantastic. We haven't seen too much in terms of a fake, but why would you have to, considering it's working perfectly every time? Virtus.Pro just can't handle it.
I like this mentality of them calling the timeout as well, because we see a lot of teams playing not to lose, and that's when you tense up. They're playing to win by making a change here. They're going to do something aggressive or maybe a little bit different in terms of rotations of what they have been doing to try and pull Virtus.Pro apart.
We'll have a look at the buy for VP. Like I said, having to take those egos on the chin, it will be chancing to bring weaponry out once again. No diffuse kits though. That's big. If another execution comes in and OpTic get the bomb down, there's so much pressure on VP on that retake. They have got the AWP out in the hands of Snacks, so 4 rifles surrounding it. The utility's not really there, not a single incendiary purchase. They do have 4 smokes, but it comes down to a Snacks this time. Can he be aggressive? Can he start finding some opening kills there?
So 14 rounds OpTic. No money for Virtus.Pro. It could be map point and a walk in the park potentially to close it out. The game on the line for Virtus.Pro very much in many ways in this round. And an AWP on Snacks, who right now has elected not to get out toward long. Didn't have the spawn for it, but he's covering from the top of the stairwell. And finally, we're going to see some pressure over toward the A site from OpTic.
We'll have a look at this setup here. All roads lead here for OpTic. Can they find match points? As they send 3 players towards long A, just dissecting the map at the moment. It's Stanislaw going in first. Taz waiting on the other side towards Stables, but they're just trying to ascertain information at this point. They don't have to fully commit towards A. The good thing about this is the CTs have no idea what's going on now. They have to keep 2 players towards A. They're not sure what kind of potential that OpTic have right now. They know there's presence towards long A, but they're actually rotating back towards B. Now Fly, he's got control of the upper platform, and this could be another wall of smoke. The green wall coming in towards that B bomb site. I thought you might like that.
I certainly did, Henry. Bialy and Neo are the ones inside of the site. Pasha started the second guess this based on timing, so he's going to hold reverse side drop for any chance of a split. It's Rush and Tarek. I want to try and enter from that position. As you say, Naf was already here. He covered this position off at platform. And smokes in wait for Mixwell. Stanislaw, both thrown. Molotov clear first corner. Flash over, and it's in we go. The test now for Virtus.Pro. Can they hold on? Can they make a game? Bialy certainly can. He has 2 kills on the way through. It's Nafly trying to respond, but it's Neo instead that takes him down. Now we get a response, but it's not quite enough. And Virtus.Pro will bring it back to 14-14.
Well, Bialy this time, he delivers the goods. He's boosted up on the train, finds those first 2 kills towards drop down as well. It was that execution, the same one from OpTic that worked so well for them in the past. If it's not broken, why try and fix it? So they went in with it, but Bialy, he manages to step up and just shuts it down before they even get any further with it. But 14-14, we've come right down to the wire here. Round number 29, still money available for either side, of course. OpTic do have the AWP this time. Mixwell going in towards the B side of the map, and it's not going to be the A side aggression. They're actually going to be trying to work towards the upper platform. Look for that first pick this time. Tarek going in first, smoke's being deployed, but Bialy boosted up to the tree once again.
And in this situation at 14-14, Virtus.Pro, they're still going to be broken with a loss, and they're forced by OpTiC were to concede map point first, and Virtus.Pro were to get 15. Their forced by would be stronger, so there's still a bit of an advantage for OpTiC in that sense.
Yeah, Virtus.Pro, that's if they lose the round of all 5 players going down for sure. So they need to be very careful with how they approach this, whether they go for retakes, try and look at the bigger picture in that respect. It looks like OpTiC once again opting towards B. All 5 players on this side of the map, 3 of them towards upper and 2 towards drop down, just trying to work out how they approach this situation. Looks like they'll be trying to force their way in towards drop down as Tarek go for the first shot there towards the window. Double Molotov to flush out these CDs below. Not going to have the presence there though. Taz known to play that window area passively.
Stan again already up toward the corner. Clattering of the AK sprayed toward the window, and down they'll go. No shot to disguise. It's onto the pallet. Instead, 2 in drop. Tarek can rush once more. Pasha once again is also out toward that doorway. It's Bialy inside of the site, waiting on top of the tree. He's going to try and swing to find an angle. They're going to pincer them in. That puts pressure on Neo, though. Inside of the smokes, and Mixwell, he goes around the corner with an AWP. It's a close angle. Jump shot comes through, and it's going to be Bialy that finds a second. Neo's gone large. He's got to switch over in the weaponry, though, and that leaves Stan in the open. But Pasha coming out from Chicken Coop late, sprayed down from Stan. But he's still in a 1 versus 2 at 34 HP. Bomb drop behind him, just to his left. And he's going to be spotted by Snacks. So in the end, despite OpTiC with the momentum, it's map point for Virtus.Pro first.
A simpler approach this time from OpTiC, focusing towards that drop-down area, but still, it's Virtus.Pro holding strong in the rounds that really count. You did point it out before. If OpTiC were to lose that round, the money wouldn't be great, but he's certainly stronger than Virtus.Pro's. I'll have a look at it right now. It's another pause coming in.
This is OpTiC, so this is where I didn't get the information. Virtus.Pro used both of their timeouts early. OpTic saved them. I thought it was 1-1, so this is the second time out of the half for OpTic.
We'll have a look at the money then. Stanistor on just shy of $7,000. Similar story for NAF. There's certainly buy available for them. It will be pretty healthy. It's only Mixwell feeling the heat a little bit more with 3K. But this is it now. Virtus.Pro have found match point. 1 required from OpTic to take us to overtime. Have been focusing heavily towards that B side in previous rounds now, just trying to close this one out, but they can't find that round of cross them over the finish line. It's going to be the investment here. NAF picks up the AWP, presumably will throw that over towards Mixwell. Free time comes to an end. Snacks though, he's got a very good spawn map towards middle. We know he likes to take it and go for that first pick for the mid doors. He could go for that, and I think he was considering it, decides to fall back as we go into the final round here of regulation.
Mixwell, smoke. Out toward the long position already. Pasha waiting for it with a boost up for Bialy again. Players waiting in statue position on the T side of the map this time as well. It's going to be Stanislaw that wants any rotations to come through, but we haven't seen any pressure applied onto the A side in a while. It might even be enough to just consider the fake for OpTic, but right now, back to basics, back to try and execute into this drop position. Double Molotov down, cross off, push anyone back and wait to cover while they retreat. No one there. Confirmed. So a passive hold on drop again, as Virtus.Pro is known for time and time again. We know Taz, as we already mentioned, at Cologne plays the back window well in this game. Pasha's been doing it over the last 3 rounds.
Rush on the Tech 9, NAF on the Galil. It's certainly not the most ideal buy, but still definitely workable. Bialy, since he adjusted his tree position, he's been able to be above them at the bird's eye view of these executions coming in, and that's when they've been able to defend them properly. This time it's the fake. They've got the bomb towards A here. They're trying to sell something towards the B bomb side, but it's Virtus.Pro. They find the first shot as Snacks nailing it, and Pasha chimes in as well. 5-on-3 now. The pressure towards these mid players as Mixwell finds a headshot towards Snacks.
Lovely shot as Snacks will go down. Taz, NAF, he's so low, but he sprays back through the very fragile stables, and it's going to be the kill, but Virtus.Pro's got 2 in response. It's on Tarek, 1 versus 3, AWP, bomb down, and he's completely surrounded. 1 from all 3 angles, and Neo, he'll close it out. Virtus.Pro go through, but just barely. And you've got to credit OpTic for an incredible day of Counter-Strike, because they knock out G2, they knock out Astralis. No one thought they were even going to get the spot against Cloud9 to be here, and they almost make a semifinal, 2 rounds away from doing so.
You can see VP win the game, but it's quite a hollow victory. They're just more of a sigh of relief, if anything. They were the hot favorites going into this one, and you have to commend OpTiC. What a great game they gave to us there. It was good adjustments from VP towards the end. It's a T-side executions coming in that are having a real tough time actually handling. Viali getting boosted up to the tree, though, I think that was the difference maker. He was actually able to hold it off, and it could have gone either way towards the end, but 16-14, a great way to finish things off, and VP will be going to the semi-finals.
Right then, welcome back to ESL One New York for the final time tonight. We're going to get a quick word with Taz from Virtus.Pro. Congratulations, first of all. Another top 4.
Thank you.
More trolls, I love it. It's too late for trolls right now. You had to dig deep. You're always known for your resilience, bounce back ability. You needed all of that tonight.
Actually, yeah, I think that OpTiC is playing really well, and I'm just looking forward to them to play even better in the future.
Top 4, is that acceptable for Virtus.Pro, or do you need to make the final here?
It's hard to explain it, but to say it very short, it's extremely hard to get top 4 in here because the sound system is really, really hard to play with. So we are extremely happy with top 4.
In terms of your form and the way that you're playing recently, I know we had that blip with StarLadder, and that's been explained by Neo, but you then go on to 2 other tournaments and you win both of them. What do you put that down to? Is that Virtus.Pro stepping up? Is it the fact that the scene's a bit up and down at the moment? It's a bit inconsistent. What do you put it down to?
I mean, when it comes to us, it feels that we are in a very good spot. We feel that confident against any team and in normal circumstances. And it just feels good, but you know, StarLadder, everyone knows what happened. We were explaining, so it happens. I hope that we can somehow find a way to perform tomorrow, like we should, and that we can bring a third win.
A lot of the experts that I talk to in Counter-Strike say that if you guys win this, you take the #1 spot away from SK Gaming as the best team in the world. Do you agree?
Maybe not. I mean, it's not that important. This event, obviously, is very nice to win ESL One, but if you win the major, then you can actually call yourself like #1. All other events are just a bit smaller and less important, I guess.
All right, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Taz, Virtus.Pro will be in the semi-finals tomorrow. Let's find out our final words from our desk.
Let's do just that. OpTiC falling by the wayside, but oh so close. A full 30 rounds of play. Gentlemen, for the final time here in our first day in the Barclays Center, let's go ahead and break that one down. Duncan Thorin Shields and Jenko YNK Paunovic.
They just needed one pistol, Alex. They lost both pistols and it came down to a 16-14 game. I mean, that's all it took. You had a couple of good rounds for them. They did win that eco in the first half, but I feel that both teams in their respective CT halves had troubles adapting to what their opponents were doing. Notably enough, in the first half, OpTiC had problems adapting to that A split that VP ran a couple of rounds in a row. What you want to do in that case, since VP was really splitting up, going for a 3-2 split, you either focus on A long or on mid. You try to challenge them there if you're not going for a full-on stack towards the A bomb site. So you fight them for one of the areas, you let them go towards the bomb site, and then supposedly you win the fight because you stacked it. Then you can turn towards the bomb site and play for the retake. They were playing very far back, and VP obviously at that point knows how to execute. Very, practiced team at that, and that made it a bit easier for them to rack up rounds in the first half.
Duncan, you also beautifully outlined that should OpTiC pick this up, it would be undisputable that these guys are a team to be recognized as this year, and the new next year does progress. A 16-14, 7-8 both halves. Do you think there's still some recognition to be given?
Here's the thing. I'd normally say I don't really believe in like moral victories. It only matters doesn't matter if you win by a very small margin. Okay, so for VP, it's fine to just eke it out. But what's amazing about this game is, obviously, OpTiC on the scoreboard only 2 rounds away from winning, but actually they out-fragged Virtus.Pro over this game. I mean, what it really showed is the difference is when Virtus.Pro had opportunities, they closed them out. They had less of them actually, but they closed them out. The guys from OpTiC, I mean, they were in so many rounds, but they can look back and there's so many 2v2s, so many 3v3s that like, okay, for a second you thought they can do it and then over in an instant, especially at that A site, like that's where VP really came alive in that last part of the game.
Also switching to the second half, it's so interesting to me to see how OpTiC, they really seem to be taking a couple of things out of NIP's book on several maps. On Cobble, for example, we saw that fake with the grenades being thrown all the way from team mid, pretty much. That's something that NIP introduced as well. But I was surprised how VP was struggling a lot with that B execute from OpTiC because they were spread around. VP mostly holds platform and gives control of drop, right? But OpTiC was using all of their utility to get into that B bomb set, clearing platform, clearing chicken coup, statue, and all of that. So they wouldn't have anything to battle the retake pretty much. But VP, because of the way they play, ideally, they would have probably given them control of platform, focus on drop if someone comes there, then play the retake with some of the saved utility. Obviously, hindsight is 20/20, but I think they should have tried and adjust a bit earlier.
It has been...
Considering the guy we highlighted was Turek, because he is the big name that's come in, and pressure's all on his shoulders. I have to say, for this actual tournament, I think he delivered. Like, in this game, he was very good. He went head-to-head with VP, who, I mean, interesting note, we found out someone put this stat on HLTV.org, I think it was on Twitter. He's actually never played Virtus.Pro amazingly. Think of all the lands they've been to together. He's never somehow gotten paired up. And famously, I mean, it was always Na'Vi that was his nemesis, He'd always have to play them. He'd never quite live up to the billing. Was pretty good here. It certainly wasn't his fault that they weren't able to get through. And I think when you look at how young this lineup is, I mean, this is actually like, I think this is their first LAN with this actual lineup. They went to Northern Arena, I think, with the old lineup. So pretty solid result overall, I think.
I don't think there's going to be too many complaints from OpTiC fans and from the OpTiC team. Admittedly, these next few days...
Might need to get to know their fans a little bit.
It will be a sore spot for the next few days, but there's a lot of positives to take away from OpTiC, and of course Virtus.Pro did manage to pick up the win, and they'll be the final team locked in for our playoffs. And so our final 4 is locked in. We have it. Liquid, Na'Vi, SK, and none other than Virtus.Pro. What a wonderful Sunday it will be. But this is what we witnessed today. This is how we got there. It feels like oh so long ago we started our games with G2 OpTiC, and OpTic's success there was a quick reflection of not only how OpTiC will be doing, but also G2 and their very swift demise here in New York. There wasn't too much to take away from G2's early performances, and Astralis, they fell into a very similar category, wouldn't you say, Duncan? That Fnatic result left very little to the imagination.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game they had against G2 where they came back into the game, you were like, oh, this is looking really positive. I mean, ultimately, that could have been a loss. They actually, I think, that initial high, it really faded away quite quickly, actually, beyond that.
Following that, we had Na'Vi versus SK. Everyone painted that to be a big blockbuster. Looking forward to some sexy CS. And Yanko, that's 6 by SK's name. It certainly didn't deter them as time progressed, but still, Na'Vi have already flexed, and they were the first team locked in for the playoffs.
Definitely. I mean, Na'Vi winning both pistols in that game and having good control of the economy, especially in the first half, really well in full control throughout the game. And obviously Simple had an amazing individual performance, and that just shows you the power of this new Na'Vi when one player steps up like Simple and the others are carrying their own weight.
Truly excited to see what happens tomorrow. Now we have seen that the potential that Na'Vi have already shown us here in New York. Following that, we saw Astralis OpTiC. That was a quick win for OpTic. Astralis then were eliminated from the tournament. We wave goodbye to them, of course, alongside G2, the first 2 to be eliminated. And actually, our big game, we chose one game to highlight out of all of them, and it was the first time, and I do mean the first time Fnatic and Liquid met. It wasn't the last time, but this was just a little taste of how this game did play out. And I mean, the fact that we saw it twice, gents, it really was quite the affair to behold, wouldn't you say, Duncan?
Oh, certainly, especially because this game here, Fnatic, there was times in this game where they had their hands all over it. It looked like, okay, they've got this in like the death grip. They're going to close it out here. Anything goes wrong for Liquid, and they're really in trouble, but so many clutch plays. I mean, on this game in particular, there was obviously the Pimp play. Yeah, it was just a very Odyssey Elysia, a pretty good game. Yeah, in general, it's bizarre to think it, but it wasn't Fnatic getting all the big plays. They weren't doing the just enough things, you know. It's not really that sort of a Fnatic, it feels like.
And a very, very happy Peacemaker. You could see him leaping there. They said in the interviews that he was the real key. Those 30-second timeouts aiding the boys from Liquid finding their success. Following that one, we got to see SK and Virtus.Pro. That was the Brazilians who threw a very heavy punch towards the poles. And following that, our last 2 games, we had Fnatic, Liquid again. Same map, same teams. And just an hour later, and this time Liquid go ahead and make it a little bit more convincing, shaving 2 rounds off of their previous score. It was all round a rather enjoyable day, and this is what you have to look forward to on Sunday. Of course, that doesn't, we neglect to mention that VP OpTic result, but this is what you've got to look forward to now. They are set, and what on earth have we got here? SK Virtus.Pro in the semi-finals. We move away from our Swiss best of 1s and into our best of 3s now. Following that, you get Liquid versus Na'Vi. Okay, I'm going to throw this one to you, Yanko.
On one hand, you would like to have the SK-VP matchup saved for the finals, but you can't resist the storyline between Hiko playing Simple now, can you?
Oh, man. No, you cannot. And still, I mean, you've got world-class Counter-Strike coming up tomorrow. If you had to choose one semi-final to highlight?
I'd still go with SK-VP personally, because I think actually, for me, probably the best series matchup he can make at the moment. Fantastic map pool. Obviously, stylistically, one of the few teams that can really go head-to-head with them. I think the Liquid Na'Vi one has like a cool storyline, but you can't be certain whether it's going to happen or not, whereas it feels inevitable. It's going to be a 3-map SK-VP series. It's going to be a really backwards and forwards affair.
Yeah. Fingers crossed for that one. I think we have certainly said and done enough. Our first day here in the Barclays Center has been an outright success. The fans came in their masses and have been incredibly passionate. We'll be seeing more of them tomorrow, and you'll be seeing more of us tomorrow at exactly the same time, 10:20. We hope to see you guys tuning in, and we'll be live with that pre-show, reminding you of what you've got to look forward to and what you may have missed. Thank you so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the same as Sunday will begin, and we'll be crowning a champion of ESL One New York.